First of all, for you non-baseball people, when you faced Nolan Ryan, he threw the curveball, it broke like that. How in the hell are you going to hit that? That's rough, no question about it. But I must say this about Nolan. I faced 19 Hall of Fame pitchers in my career, and him and Bob Gibson were the two most competitive pitchers that I ever faced. And I faced Koufax and Marichal and Seaver and Carlton and Jenkins and Phil Niekro. I got 64 hits off of Phil Niekro, the knuckleball pitcher, and I got 36 off of his brother Joe, who threw knuckleballs. If his mom would have had 5 kids, I'd have got 5,000 hits. But Nolan was the type of pitcher that you'd want him to pitch the day before you come into Houston. Or he was scheduled to pitch the day after you left Houston. Because you're better off if you don't have to face the Ryan Express 4 at-bats, okay? Because he was such a competitive guy, and he threw so hard, and he struck everybody out. If he was playing today, I mean, it wouldn't be fair. It'd be like kids facing Nolan Ryan, the way these guys hit today. I mean, he had 400 strikeouts. They just don't hit the ball today. They hit home runs. He loves someone going up there swinging from their ass trying to hit home runs. Am I the only one that's going to say ass in this room? I got a story to tell you, and no one's talking about this is a funny one, because we were talking before about how the National League, in San Antonio, if you get a team, I hope it's a National League team, okay? Not an American League team. Because we play baseball in the National League. You have to own a glove to play in the National League, okay? And we really took the All-Star game seriously. And I was lucky enough to play in 17 of them, and we won 16 of them. And I'll forget the night before the one we lost in Detroit, I'm out to eat at Morton's downtown in Detroit, and Willie Mays, who's one of the top 5 players in the history of baseball, he's at the next table, and we're skipping back and forth and talking, and Willie says, I'll be right back. And he went to the bathroom, he come back, and he had this light gray sharkskin suit on with a white shirt and a purple tie, and I noticed he had water all over both sides of his pants. And I looked at Willie, I said, Willie, what the hell is going on? Willie's like this. He says, man, he said, you ain't gonna believe this. He said, I was in there taking the pee. I said, ain't you Willie Mays? That son bitch peed on me. So there's someone in this world peed on Willie Mays. It gets better. Just hang in there.
I really don't know what to say at this point.
Be careful, but someone might recognize you.
Yeah. I don't. Okay. During Nolan's final year in Houston, you were quoted as saying that you could talk about Dwight Gooden, you could talk about Mike Scott, you could talk about whoever you want, but none of them throw as consistently hard as Ryan does. At that time, last year in Houston, Nolan was 41 years old.
Well, it's true. I mean, he's got big, strong legs, and he pitched with his legs. Like Seaver was the same type, but didn't quite throw as hard as Nolan. And Nolan would always give that little rock back. He'd always rock back and get the. I think he was cheating. I think he was starting out about this far in front of the mound. But Mike Scott was really tough.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that young lady was up here. His favorite player is Joe Morgan. I never heard that in a while. And Jimmy Wynn is from Cincinnati. Went to Taft High School to Toy Cannon. And Rusty Staub, believe it or not, Rusty Staub, played in more losing games than any player in the history of baseball. That's a fact. Legrand Orange. Hell, you're listening to a guy talk that played at Colt Stadium, old Colt Stadium. And the mosquitoes had flight attendants on them. They were that damn big around. Anybody been to old Colt Stadium? Mrs. Ryan's the only one? Oh, Larry DeLillo, you've been there. Where in the hell would the rest of you been? Gee, many crickets. That was baseball. That was fun.
That's how they built the indoor place.
Who got the first home run in the Astrodome? Mickey Mantle,
Yep.
who hit the first home run for the Astros. Shut up, smart ass. No, and then I remember one time we were playing in Cincinnati Crosley Field. Remember Shag Crawford, right? Shag was a really good umpire. And I woke up to bat the second time. It's 98 in the shade. It's like it was in Houston. Just humidity was out of sight. And Shag's as white as a ghost. And I'm just a kid. And I said, Shag, you all right? You know, I liked umpires. I said, you all right? He looked at me and said, just swing the damn bat. I said, pardon me? He said, I don't give a shit if he rolls it up there. I'm calling strikes. I said, Shag, what's the problem? He said, Sanguian. He's belching, he's farting, he stinks, and it's all staying at home plate. Fastest game I ever played in, an hour and 50 minutes. That's the kind of fun we used to have when we played. We had a lot of fun, man. You're out there having fun. You're playing a kid's game. Go out there and play. I mean, just, you know, what these players don't understand today, all athletes, not just baseball players, is you can't cheat the public. You can't cheat the fans. You know, Nolan and I didn't go to the ballpark every day and feel 100%. But when you put the uniform on, then you feel 100%. Give me a bat, I feel 100%. You know, I could be half dead, but I'm going to play. Because we had to play. We got one-year contracts. So I got paid in 73 for what I did in 72 and on down the line until I went to Philadelphia and I signed a 4-year contract. And when I went to Philadelphia for the 79 season, I signed $810,000 a year, made me the highest paid player in sports. Because at the time, there was a basketball player who played for Denver named Dave Thompson. Remember, went to North Carolina State? He made $800,000. That's how dumb the owner was. I told him I wanted to be the highest paid player in sports. He gave me 810 instead of 801. You just don't get some guys, you understand? So it went from $810,000 in 1979 to last year Kershaw made $30 million. And he only started 28 games. That's a good job, isn't it, Noli? $1 million a week, start one game, and give up 8 runs in 2 different playoff games. He did. That ain't no bullshit. That's the truth.
He'll be here tomorrow.
Go down there tomorrow night and ask him. Is he pitching tomorrow night?
No.
I think Zach.
Greinke's good. Yeah, he only makes $23 million. You know, we used to count our money when we made it. These guys today weigh it.